What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, we're going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and what I think may end up playing out for the future. So, I am going to go over many scenarios and then give you guys my prediction for what I think is going to play out for Tesla after the earnings report comes out. I'm going to answer the question: can we break past $1,300, and what do I think is going to happen? Now, before I say anything about this, I do have to mention some very important things first. First off, I'm not a financial planner, guys. This is all for educational purposes only. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you will not only qualify for up to 5 free stocks, each with up to $3,500, but you're also going to qualify for free real-time level 2 data for US stocks with $0 in trading commissions. So please check that out if you guys want. And with that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So this is Tesla's share price, right? This is the chart that we all have been staring at for so long. And something you'll notice in the past, right? If we go back to 2020, this thing was just roaring and roaring and roaring like crazy. Now, one of the interesting things about the way this thing has been moving is, look, Tesla tends to move in a very similar manner as it has in the past, right? There are times where we've seen this thing roar like crazy. We saw very similar fractals, but the problem is you can't always predict it perfectly, right? It's not always going to be perfect. Now, here's one of the theories about Tesla that I think I touched on in a previous video, but I want to just talk a little bit more about it. And then I'm going to talk about how this relates to today. So this is known as the Wyckoff accumulation schematic. First off, let me zoom in on this, right? This represents institutions, these big businesses. How do they dictate the price of certain stocks, right? How do they, short certain stocks? How do they buy? How do they cause people to react certain ways, such as this right here? This is an automatic reaction. And this in turn tends to play out or represents how many charts may move from micro and macro scales or from short-term or long-term time frames. So for instance, you could look at a stock and look at the one-day chart, and you might see something like this. Or you could zoom out and say, a couple of weeks, you might see the same thing. You could zoom out and see a couple of months, see the same thing, or even years. I mean, it's really, really, really interesting, guys. It is a theory, which is why it's not always going to be perfect, but it definitely has a lot of merit. And I do believe it's starting to show itself in Tesla. Now, look at this right here, right? This is 2021. I know it's last year. You guys probably think I'm crazy, but look at this, okay? This is Tesla's share price. Let me kind of try to adjust this so you can see this a little bit more clearly. Um, I think one thing I could do is make the chart wider, and maybe I could fit this in a little bit just so that I could show the chart from two sides. I'm going to keep it like that, just like that. Okay, there. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit more clear. First off, we have this drop right here, right? This is the preliminary support. We end up running up, then we drop to the selling climax. Then we have an automatic reaction, right? This is how institutions are dictating the price. They short at certain levels, they have big sell-offs, and then they have people react in certain ways. I mean, some institutions have psychologists working for them just so that they could get people to react in certain ways, and it tends to work really well. Now, here's the interesting thing. We ended phase A. You guys can see how similar that is to phase A here. It's kind of similar, but the automatic reaction is really, really like kind of, how should I say, it's kind of like closed in. But then look at this right here. After phase A, we enter phase B. Okay, we have that drop and phase B. Then we have that run up. There's the 1 TP here. We drop, we have the selling test, the test right over here in phase B. Then we all of a sudden have another big run up, this very dramatic TP. I'm sure you guys can see this TP here. It really stands out. It's very similar to this. And then here's the cool thing. As we go into phase C, phase C starts right here where my cursor is. Hold on, like that. You guys can see phase C, right? We have the spring in the test in phase C. Okay, look at this. Phase C is right here. We have a big drop to Tesla's low point, which was 540. We ran up. Then we have another drop down to like 571. Spring and test are so prominent here, guys. It's so clear. Like that to me is just, it really gives it away that this is definitely has a lot of merits for Tesla. Now, look at this right here. Phase D ends up forming, right? We have the last point of support. Then over here, we have the sign of strength, another last point of support before we run. Does that have merit? Okay, let's do it like this. Let me put the chart like this and then just show you the last two phases, right? Phase D and phase E. Do you guys see how similar they are? Phase D starts right here. And as you guys can see, this thing was running up. We have the last point of support. We have the SOS, the sideways action right here. Then when we hit phase E, we explode, just like how this is exploding in phase E. They're very similar. They're not perfect, but they are similar. So the question is Wyckoff going to continue to basically represent Tesla again? And based off my research and based off what I've seen, it's possible that we might see something like this happen when Tesla dips again when interest rates start going up. Now, this doesn't mean I give up on Tesla, guys. I know this thing is going to explode eventually, and this thing definitely has insane potential, but look at how the chart has been moving quite recently. It's kind of hard to see Wyckoff again. I didn't even draw it out, but you guys could kind of see the preliminary supports, the automatic reaction, then the big drop right here. And I'm sure you guys see it right here, right? We have a drop here that's kind of like the sell test in phase B. It looks very similar, right? Then the run up. I didn't even label anything because I just want to make this as simple as possible. So what could be playing out is Tesla dipping already. We may have already saw the big dip and the earnings report, right? Right here. The earnings report that Tesla has could cause this thing to really, really run and hit all-time highs again. Am I guaranteeing that? No. But based off this chart, it looks very prominent. It looks very probable. So there are many perspectives we could use. We could talk about like tomorrow. I'm sorry, like for the short term, yeah, this thing could dip. It may continue to dip. Okay. Then we might see a little bit of sideways action. Then the earnings report comes out and boom, Elon Musk announces something big. We start to run up. Dip a little bit, and then boom, we hit all-time highs one last time before the interest rates start hiking. So we could theoretically go to all-time highs again. If it really depends on the report, right? We don't know what is going to be reported. I'm not sure if Elon Musk is going to announce, the Tesla phone, some very, very cool things. Maybe there's going to be a robo taxi that they're actually going to be unveiling. Maybe the Tesla bot has a big update. It really, really depends on what on earth is announced and how does it basically react to the demand of investors and people like you and me. So with that said and done, guys, yeah, at the end of the day, we know we have very strong resistance at 1,100, 1,150, 1,203, I believe, and 1,243, or the $1,250 range. That's really where Tesla hit its all-time high. We could definitely break that, in my opinion, if it's a very, very great piece of news, which is why I predict, and this is just my prediction, I'm not necessarily, what I'm trying to say is take this with a grain of salt. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'll tell you this. I think that if Tesla announces something big, we could break all-time highs. I could be wrong when I say that, but that's what I think is going to play out. I think we could go to 1,300. That's where what's estimated to be the next level of resistance. I do think we could do that. I definitely do think it could happen if they announce something very, very huge. So with that said and done, guys, like I said before, I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, it's okay. But this is what I think is going to play out. And I do think that they have a big announcement coming out. They might start to unveil the production of the new gigafactories. It might be 100% official. It's going to be huge. So that's said and done, guys. I don't care too much about the short term. I just did this video for fun because in the long term, it's still very, very bullish regardless of what happens. So don't lose faith, guys. Remain calm, cool, and collected and just wait it out. I thank you all for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.